Let's learn about GMAS testing tools. Testing tools to use. Let's log in. We're going to be using the Georgia End of Grade Online Tools Training. You can follow the link, or you can use the DRC app on your Chromebooks, or you can use the QR code. Our first step, click Online Tools Training for the spring test. Then, click EOG Test Practice. Then Standards Online Tools, then Grades 3 through 5. The username and password are provided. The username is Georgia with a capital G, 35. The password is the word training with a capital T. Some helpful testing tips are, first, read each question carefully. Some questions will ask you to select an answer from among 4 choices. For these questions, choose the one best answer. Some questions will have 2 parts. Some questions will ask you to select more than one answer. For these questions, choose the best answers. For questions requiring a written response, type your answer in the space provided. Only one question at a time will appear on the screen. Passages may have more than one question. Some of the tools you will see. The flag button. This allows you to mark the question so you know you have to go back to it. The cross off eliminates answers that you know are not correct. The highlighter. Highlight important information within the text. Sticky notes. Take notes within a test question or passage. The magnifier. This enlarges information on the screen. And the line guide helps you track a single line of text as you read. You will also see pause. If you need to go away from your computer, click the pause button. The resume button. Click on the resume button to continue testing. This is important. If you are away from the computer for more than 20 minutes, you will have to log back into the test. The Review and End Test button. The Review and End Test button allows you to see your progress on the test. You may go to any question by selecting it from the list that appears on the screen. Your References button. Use reference tools where available to view reference materials like a formula sheet or a periodic table. These may help you answer test questions. If you're testing and you cannot remember how a question type works, click on the question mark button. The Help button will allow you to access how-to sections for a reminder of how to respond to various question types. The Review and End Test page filter. A new filter has been added to the Review End Test page to make it easier for students to find flagged or unanswered test questions. The filter defaults to Show All. Selecting the drop-down menu presents the test taker with the following options: Show All, Show Flagged, or Show Unanswered. The Review End Test page dynamically updates the questions available based on drop-down selection. Let's take a look at the technology-enhanced items. What type of items should I expect? Complete summaries, lists, or graphic organizers by dragging and dropping items into a list or into order. You first must click to respond in order to get the interactive screen. Drop-down menus embedded within passages. Choose the correct word or phrase. Drag and drop items into a table. Drag lines to complete bar graphs. You can use the eraser to clear the graph. You can use the undo button to undo the last function. Use the line plot to draw a shape. Start at the point and use the line tool to drag and draw. You can use the eraser to clear the field. You can use the undo button to undo the last function. You must stop at each endpoint, the corner. Drag fractions into a number line. Plot numbers on a number line by clicking, dropping a point on the number line where they should be. Use a calculator style tool to type out a fraction. Pay close attention to the fraction button on the screen. First, click Fraction button. Click on the top box for the numerator and type the number. Click in the bottom box for the denominator and type the number. You may also see plot numbers on a graph. You're going to click the dot first, then click on the graph to plot the point. Order items in a list. Drag the items or the numbers into the boxes. Use arrows to graph points on a number line. Some questions will have two-step responses with drag and drop. Be sure to click to respond for both parts of the question. Drag items into the correct boxes. Drag items to label graphs according to the information provided to you. The Tech Enhanced items for ELA are as listed. Item types include selected response, constructed response items, constructed response, extended constructed response, narrative writing, extended writing response, evidence-based selected response, drag and drop, paste, drop-down list. Unique features include reading an evidence-based writing section, require students to construct meaning, make inferences, draw conclusions, compare and contrast ideas, as well as synthesize ideas and concepts across multiple texts. That includes selected response, constructed response, and extended writing response. Extended writing response requires students to develop an informative or explanatory or opinion argumentative essay, citing evidence from text or texts and using standard language conventions, etc. What type of items should I expect? For the Tech Enhanced items in math, you may see selected response, multi-part, multi-select, drag and drop and paste, keypad input, drop-down list. For graphing, coordinated grid, number line, bar graph, line plot, line graph, and pictograph. Tech Enhanced items for science for 5th grade may include selected response, multi-part, multi-select, drag and drop and paste, and drop-down list. Unique features may include science requires understanding of the core concepts, ideas, and practices of science to explain scientific phenomena. Social studies requires understanding of the past and the future, including the interconnectedness of history, culture, geography, economics, and government civics. For grades 3rd through 5th ELA, questions like this, they will complete chart questions. Students will drag the correct part of speech and what does the word do sentence to the chart. You can change answers by moving them around or reset all to start over. ELA 3rd through 5th. Complete the paragraph with sentences that best develop the topic. You will drag the sentences into place. You can change your answers by dragging and moving the sentences around or use the Reset All button to begin again. For grades 3 through 5 math, this question asks students to move objects into the column on the table that best describes them. Students will drag the shapes into the columns. You can change your answer by moving or dragging the shape into another column or use the Reset All button to begin again. For grades 3rd through 5th math, this question will ask students to construct a bar graph, clicking within the graph in order to create the bars within the graph. When you do that, a blue line will appear when you hover over the graph. The bars can be changed by simply clicking in a different location within the graph or using the Reset All button to begin again. For grades 3rd through 5th math, this question asks students to construct a figure. For this item, you are asked to create a rectangle that is also a rhombus. First, choose the line tool from the drop-down menu. Then click and drag to create a line. Do this 4 times to create the shape. If you make an error, click the Undo button to remove each line one by one, or use the eraser to completely start over. For grades 3rd through 5th math, this question asks students to plot fractions on a number line by dragging and dropping. Move the fractions and point by clicking on the fraction and/or point and dragging it over to the correct location on the number line. You are able to move the fraction around and change your answer. For grades 3rd through 5th math, this is a 2-part graphing item that requires you to construct line plots. Click above a value on the number line to place an X on the line plot. Enter the data. You can deselect an X by clicking it a second time. For grades 3rd through 5th math, for Part B, you only need to plot the missing data. Notice that the graph contains data that has already been plotted. Enter the correct data value. You can click on an X the second time to remove the X. You can only remove an X that is not pre-plotted. For grades 3rd through 5th math, this is a keypad input item. You will enter your answer using the keypad provided. Choose the fraction symbol on the keypad to enter a fraction. Click on the top of the fraction to enter the numerator and click on the bottom of the fraction to enter the denominator. For grades 3rd through 5th math, this graphing item asks you to plot 2 points on a coordinate plane. First, click on the closed point from the menu bar. To enter the data point, click within the coordinate plane. If you hover over the grid, a faint dot appears until you click to drop the point. Points can be removed one by one by clicking the Undo button. The eraser will remove all points at once. For grades 3rd through 5th math, the second part of this item asks you to answer a standard multiple choice question. This was included to show you that some of the 2-part technology enhanced items may have a second part that is different from the first. For 5th grade science, you will also see technology enhanced items on the grades 5 science sections of the test. Here we have a 2-part science drag and drop item where you have to select the click to respond box in each part to enter your answer. The response box can be moved around as needed in the event you need to refer back to the question. For grade 5 science, this question asks you to choose the correct word or phrase from each drop-down menu to complete the sentence. You can change answers by simply re-selecting the drop-down. Take time to practice the Georgia EOG Technology Enhanced items. You can use the URL provided or you can launch the DRC app on your Chromebook. The QR code is also provided. Click first Online Tools Training for the spring test. Second, click EOG Test Practice, then Technology Enhanced Items, then All Grades. Third, enter the username and password that are provided. The username is Georgia TE and the password is training.